What you're looking at are monkeypox lesions on 33-year-old Adam's arm, legs, face, even his eye.
Right underneath the eyelash next to the eyeball.
The previous week, he had gone to a festival, and after he returned, he received an email from festival organizers saying someone who attended had monkeypox.
The last exposure that I can think of was on the 3rd of July. And then by the 11th, that's when I first noticed the marks on my arm.
That's important. It's called the incubation period, the time between being exposed and first developing symptoms. It can be anywhere from 6 days to as long as 21 days in this outbreak.
And then by the 12th, that's a full-on fever, so that was 90.
Within 3 days of getting that fever, Adam continued to break out in rashes, even in the back of his throat. And those were the worst. For days, Adam could hardly eat or even speak. The only thing that seemed to help, gargling with lidocaine solution.
Had you ever experienced anything like this?
I would kind of liken it to a crossbreed between COVID, strep throat, mono, in addition to the pox.
Dr. Stacy Lane is founder of the Central Outreach Wellness Center in Pittsburgh. It's a center focused on LGBTQ health. She is also Adam's doctor.
He had a lesion on the inside of his lid, but if that would rupture, he would auto-inoculate his eye.
Turns out about 25% of people infected with monkeypox do develop lesions around their eyes. And if the infection spreads to their cornea, it can cause blindness.
And that was what pushed me to treat him.
That's right. There is a treatment for monkeypox. It's an antiviral known as Tpox. It's been approved since 2018 in the United States to treat smallpox. That's a virus in the same family as monkeypox. And recent studies have now shown effectiveness against monkeypox as well.
What are you seeing in terms of response to this medication?
Honestly, it's been profound to watch the progression through pictures and literally melting away within, I would say, 3 doses.
But here's the issue. At least 4,900 people have been formally diagnosed with monkeypox. And as of July 22nd, the CDC says just over 230 patients have actually been treated with the medication.
What is the level of awareness of Tpox?
Yeah, I think it's minimal. This is a disease that is disproportionately affecting the gay community. And I think that until it really makes its way into the heterosexual world, that's probably how it'll be.
In many ways, the story of Tpox is a remarkable one. Years ago, out of concern that smallpox could one day be weaponized, the federal government stockpiled at least 1.7 million doses. But now, even in the middle of this new outbreak, getting those doses to those in need has been a real challenge.
You're talking about a 5-6 day time lag to get that medication to you at a local doctor's office. And the paperwork and all of the bureaucracy to make that happen is very cumbersome. It takes a few hours of your time. And that's the barrier.
There's probably a lot of people out there who may be watching this right now saying, so this doctor's saying these lesions melt away, I'm sitting here suffering, and I can't get it. That's a problem.
For sure. There's a ton of health disparities in the LGBT community. The major players aren't jumping to treat a disease that primarily affects gay men.
Even this interview, Adam did agree to speak with me, but asked that we only use his first name and keep his face hidden. The stigma is real, and it's painful.
They do associate it with being a gay man's disease or a bisexual man's disease, which I think is not a great way to approach it, because any disease can be anybody's disease.
Last week, the CDC did streamline the process for Tpox approval, reducing the amount of paperwork and follow-up requirements. Dr. Lane says that helps, but it's still not enough.
If this wasn't being defined or at least described as a gay, bisexual man's disease, do you think some of these barriers that you're talking about wouldn't be there or wouldn't be as big?
Most likely, right? I mean, we'd like to think that homophobia doesn't exist anymore or that racism in medicine doesn't exist anymore, but I think we have lots of evidence to say that it does.
Lane's Pittsburgh clinic is seeing such a high volume of patients with eye lesions, she was able to get approval from federal and local health authorities to keep doses on hand in their office. But they are precious. They are kept under lock and key.
Yeah, it's valuable, so of course we put it in a safe.
How quickly did you think it made an impact?
Within the first couple of days.
Really?
I feel a lot better. The day that I was first prescribed, the pox on my hand, it was that big and kind of painful. But within the first 2 days of being on the antiviral, that completely decreased in size. And by the third day, it had completely scabbed over.